Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing well. How have you gentlemen been?
We've been okay.
Wow. Fine.
Just okay?
Yeah.
Good.
You know, you've got a spoil around here, so I'm style pointing road wins, and I'm looking for more dominance, and so that's why I'm glad what you said yesterday. I know y'all beat the Saints, but I'm looking for y'all to just dominate, manhandle people like early in the year. But that's good to have high expectations, right?
Absolutely. I mean that's what it's all about. I mean it's begin the season, you set a goal, but you got to continue to reinforce those expectations and just keep it on course. So yeah, I agree with you.
Coach, what was the motivation for what you said yesterday, or has it, I know the media would never do this, has it been blown out of proportion a little bit with beating Washington?
I wouldn't say there was a motivation. Frankly, I felt like, I gave an honest answer to, the conversation I was in with the local media yesterday. Frankly, I think, there's a little more, big picture questions. I think anytime you come out of a bye week, as we did, coming off of a Thursday and a longer week, so we got it more into, what's the state of the mindset of your football team. So, and frankly, when you talk about your team and, you give an honest answer, sometimes this is what comes out of it.
Do you, going into a game, generally have an idea, based on what you've seen on tape, based on styles of the opponent? Do you basically have an idea, this is a game we're going to win, or on the flip side, this is going to be a tough one. We may not have a chance at this one. Do you generally know before the game?
Well, I think the first thing you got to recognize is, through experience, or it's just the reality of today's NFL. They're all hard to win, and that's not coach speak 101. I mean, it's difficult to win a game in the NFL because there's just so many moving parts. I think definitely with the climate that we're in with the pandemic and this time of year, and I've never ever lost sight of that. But as far as what your expectations are and what your mindset is, I mean, it's always always geared towards winning. And, that's the way we approach it here. And that's the way we'll always approach it.
Coach Ron Rivera heard the comments yesterday and responded in D.C. Here's what he had to say.
I think it's interesting. I don't think it's important. I think that's the big mistake, is because as far as I'm concerned, you do that for a couple of reasons. One is you want to get in our head. And so I've told our players, that's interesting. It's not important. What's important is our preparation, getting ready to play on Sunday. Secondly, he's trying to convince his team, So again, I think that's another mistake, because he's now made it about him and what he said. It's not about his players anymore. So I think that's the big mistake. That's why, to me, you don't do those things. What you do is you focus in on, you get ready, and you play football. We show up on Sunday, and we'll see what happens. Any thoughts on that, Coach?
I mean, I don't really have any thoughts on it. I appreciate you playing it, though.
Journalistic responsibility.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I just, I wouldn't have taken the time to do that, so I do appreciate that. No, I think like anything, I coach my team the same way I've always coached my team, and it never goes past that. So how people react to that or their opinions of that, it's totally irrelevant to me. We understand the challenge, especially what's in front of us. The urgency, exactly what's in front of us with these division games. That was really the conversation I was involved in. But like all of us, and like I've always done it, it's about this week, about winning this game. It's about doing the things that we need to do to win the game, and part of it is our responsibility to answer questions, and it was an honest answer, part of a conversation I was in, is just to talk about our mindset going into this game, and so what other people think about it from my seat is really totally irrelevant.
Mike McCarthy here on 105.3 The Fan. If you don't have Pollard, and if Zeke is still a little bit banged up, how tough is it going to be to run the football on Sunday? Where do you guys turn if that's the case with some banged up running backs?
Well, I think like anything, I mean, you have a plan. They're a very stout run defense, so we know that part's, we're ready, getting ready for that challenge. So, Yeah, we'll just continue to work through today and tomorrow, and see how Tony, is doing. But I come Sunday, we're going to run the football, and we'll do it ever how we feel we need to do it.
Where are things looking at right tackle for you guys? It seems like it's kind of changing, or a different option every single week. Are you guys still planning to have Terrence Steele over there to start?
Yeah, frankly, I doing starting lineups on Fridays is not really. I don't think this is what this is about. But
well, Coach, we have to ask you. I mean, it's a big question.
Well, I'm trying to give you the answer.
Well, I thought you were trying to say that it shouldn't be asked.
I was just warming up to my no answer.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't. No, but LC's been working there all week. I thought he did a really good job, in New Orleans. So, we're looking to build off that.
Coach, what have you seen Washington do differently, if anything, the last 4 games or so that they've started to win? They've started to play better football.
I think they're playing really good complementary football. I think the way that the offense plays to the defense and the special teams. I think they got 2 really good runners, and their commitment to the run game. I think Scott Turner's doing a really good job with the balance that they've created on offense. So, but it's a team that you can see it. Their path and their pattern. Really what they established last year. So I would say the biggest thing is they're doing a really good job of playing complementary football.
Can you take much from what happened against them last year, considering no Dak and you're a completely different team with all the injuries?
Oh, I think anytime you line up against a team, it gives you value moving forward, and even if it's just a matchup. So, we've definitely, have last year's game as part of our prep. But I think like anything, this league changes so much year to year. We're a lot different team, throughout our whole roster than we were last year. So, obviously what's been going on throughout the year, you put a little more time and energy into these division games, especially, when this thing is laid up. We play Washington twice here in 3 weeks. So, but yeah, it's, you definitely have to utilize all those resources.
Everyone is excited about Gregory, Tank, and Micah together rushing that passer. How excited are you, Coach? And what are some of the different things that Dan Quinn can do to, give these offenses nightmares without getting into Friday game planning or scheme?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just getting those guys to be in sync. I think as our veteran players are coming back, from their injury situations, get the transition into the calls and to get the continuity and connection. That's really been the focus. But yes, definitely, we're excited about getting these guys back on the field all at the same time. But the reality of it is, it's football, and the cohesiveness between all 11 playing together. That's really where our focus is.
Joe Theismann was on this week, and he said he would rather know where Micah is going to be lined up every single play than be looking for him. He dropped Lawrence Taylor's name in that. Do you kind of agree with that philosophy, even though a lot of people say D-end is more important than linebacker positional value, that if you know where someone's lined up, it's easier to game plan against it?
Oh, I do. I think we've talked about this in training camp. When it's, from an offensive perspective, when you put together your protection plan and you're looking for your help components of protection, if the guy lines up on the left side in one position, it's obviously it's easier to call. It's easier to scheme against. So I think that the ability for Micah to play on either side and also play off the ball is just really speaks volumes to him, in his individual ability and talent. But yeah, definitely just from a targeting sense, as far as people trying to identify him, with the declaration or trying to keep the matchups, keep themselves in the matchups that they're looking for. It benefits us moving him around.
Coach, it seems like Dak's running less than he has in years past. Has there been a kind of a concerted effort since the injury to get him out of harm's way and not have him run on these design runs?
I think that kind of goes with situational football. When you look at quarterback design runs, and frankly, we're a different offense. we're a different offensive system the last 2 years than we were prior here. So I mean, it's I think last year we kind of built it based off of Dak's past experiences here with the other offensive coordinators. We tried to keep the common concepts available, but I think it's just a product of how you see our offense evolving, and and what, how we look at those calls. But it's not a primary focus for us to come out and have quarterback runs each and every week. That's not who we are. But when we do it and how we do it, I think it's more situational.
We were trying to get to the bottom of some of the throws that he's made lately. A little bit seemed a little off. And Jerry had mentioned that maybe the wide receivers aren't running the routes at the right depth. And I know there's a stat out there from Next Gen that the wide receivers and tight ends average like the fourth fewest yards of separation. What do you make of all that? Is Dak inaccurate right now? Or the wide receivers not are they contributing to some of those missed throws?
I'll tell you, I actually appreciate the statistical breakdowns and now we're into the video breakdown part of it. But I think it's just really the reflection of football and how it goes. I mean, I think anytime you're successful, playing, conceptually at any point in the season, people are going to challenge you differently. So I think part of the statistical analysis you laid out there is also a reflection of how people are playing us too. So we're seeing more match and man coverage than we saw earlier in the year. So and with that, it'll test your passing game differently than it was earlier in the year when we probably saw more vision defense. So I think it's more a reflection of how we're being challenged, and those things really those are the fundamentals. And we talk about working fundamentals and the basics, the route running principles, and that's what we're talking about. We always want to be better than we are, and that's part of the contest on Sunday. So yeah, definitely we're focused on it, and we just need to continue to work that aspect.
Is there any advantage at all? Can you gain anything extra from watching your team play in a hotel room on television?
Absolutely not.
We were debating that. I was like, "There's no possible." We were wondering if you pick up something from an announcer, or there's an angle, or the view. If there was anything advantageous to it.
I'll tell you. I mean, there'll be a day that I'll be a full-time fan, and I'll tell you, I think I got a great foundation to be that guy. So, I mean, I truly understand what the Monday morning quarterbacks feel, during the course of a game. So it's, it's an experience that I never want to revisit again. But I'm definitely glad it's over.
Like, do y'all hear the broadcast? Like, when you go back and watch the game, and I'm sure you watch the game more than one time, like, do you hear the announcers at any point?
I don't. I mean, we have the ability to cut our coach's tape and have the TV copy. So, I mean, I watch the TV copy more for the angles, and the up close, more for the camera angles are phenomenal that the TV gives you, particularly in the when you're talking about technique and the fundamentals, the things you're looking for there. But some people watch the game and care about the comments, but that's something I've never really got into.
Were you dead quiet, or were you yelling at the TV?
I was competing as a fan for my football team.
All right, well put. Coach, thank you for the time. Good to have you back. Oh, last thing. Last time you joined us, did you know your testing status, or did you get tested after our interview? We were curious.
I'll tell you, that's a great question, because I literally, because I do another show after this. I literally was sitting here in the middle of the show when I got the text, when I got the result. So it was actually after our show right here. But yeah, so that was weird. That was different. So, that's when I got the news.
Thank you, Coach. Have a good trip. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Take care, man.